Your brain is a 3-pound biological supercomputer that is currently lying to you, hallucinating your reality and power washing itself while you sleep. Most people think they know how their mind works, but we are actually living in a carefully constructed simulation built by 86 billion neurons. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll realize you aren't just observing the world. You're inventing it. And here are the 5 secrets your brain isn't telling you. Number 1, the 15 millisecond illusion. You are currently living 15 milliseconds in the past, and your brain is lying to you just to keep up. Think about it. By the time light hits your eyes and your neurons fire, the world has already moved on. In neuroscience, this is known as neural transmission delay. It takes time for signals to travel from your retina to your visual cortex. Anywhere from 13 to 100 milliseconds depending on what you're looking at. If your brain worked like a simple live feed camera, you'd be a biological lag machine. You'd miss every fast-moving baseball, trip over every curb, and fail to react to a car slamming its brakes. Instead of waiting for data to arrive, your brain builds an internal model of the world and predicts what should happen next. It's a top-down system. Your higher-order brain areas send best guesses down to your senses. Your eyes only send back prediction errors, the tiny differences between what the brain expected and what actually happened. This is why you don't notice the actor's stunt double in a fast-paced movie. Your brain is literally recycling the actor information it already has because it's more efficient. This 15 millisecond gap is where the magic happens. Your brain uses the last 15 seconds of visual history to smooth over the present. It's essentially a continuity field that keeps your world from feeling like a jittery, handheld phone video. You aren't seeing the world as it is, you're seeing your brain's most updated, high-speed hallucination of what it thinks the world is. So next time you catch a falling glass or dodge a fly, remember, you didn't see it happen, you predicted it before it even existed in your now. Number 2, the specific cell that stores your favorite celebrity. Somewhere deep inside your brain, there is a single, solitary cell that only wakes up when it sees Jennifer Aniston. It doesn't matter if she's in a photo, a stylized sketch, or if you just see her name written down, this one neuron is her personal biological fan club. This isn't a joke, it's a landmark discovery in neuroscience. In 2005, researcher Rodrigo Quiroga was monitoring the brain activity of epilepsy patients. While showing them thousands of images, he found something impossible, a specific neuron in the medial temporal lobe that fired only for Jennifer Aniston. Even more wild, it didn't fire for her when she was pictured with Brad Pitt. It was as if the neuron was mapped to the concept of her as an individual, not just her face. These are called concept cells. Most of our brain uses population coding, where thousands of neurons fire together to recognize a shape or a color. But for complex, familiar things like your favorite celebrity or your own grandmother, the brain uses sparse coding. It maps these concepts to a very small number of highly specialized cells. This is how your brain abstracts information. It ignores the pixels, like what color shirt she's wearing, and jumps straight to the meaning. That's Rachel from Friends. This is the foundation of how we build memories. These cells act like pointers in a massive mental library. By mapping a single cell to a complex concept, your brain can quickly link that person to places, emotions, and stories without overloading your neural circuits. We've since found Halle Berry neurons, Luke Skywalker neurons, and even Leaning Tower of Pisa neurons. You literally have a map of your entire world built out of these specialized cells. So, who do you think has a dedicated neuron in your brain? Let me know who your brain's VIP is in the comments. Number 3, the sixth sense. You have a hidden superpower buried in your brain that allows you to feel the Earth's magnetic field, but you are completely unaware of it. For decades, we thought magnetoreception was reserved for migratory birds and sea turtles, but recent breakthroughs suggest humans never actually lost their internal compass. In 2019, researchers at Caltech and the University of Tokyo conducted a groundbreaking study. They placed volunteers in a dark, isolated Faraday cage and rotated Earth-strength magnetic fields around them. The results were stunning. The participants' brain waves, specifically their alpha waves, dropped significantly when the magnetic field moved. In neuroscience, this alpha ERD response is a classic sign that the brain is actively processing sensory information, even if the person doesn't consciously feel anything. So, How are we doing it? Scientists have two main theories. First, there's magnetite, tiny naturally magnetic iron crystals found in human brain tissue that could act like microscopic compass needles. The second theory involves cryptochromes. These are light-sensitive proteins in our eyes. In a fascinating experiment, scientists took human cryptochromes, put them into fruit flies that had lost their sense of direction, and the flies suddenly regained their ability to navigate using magnetic fields. The hardware is there, we just don't have the software to see it yet. If we have this sense, why can't we use it to find a nearest Starbucks? It seems our brains actively filter this data out. Interestingly, the brain only responds to magnetic rotations that feel natural based on where you live. If you live in the northern hemisphere and the field moves in a way that only happens in the southern hemisphere, your brain ignores it as garbage data. It's a vestigial gift from our nomadic ancestors who relied on the earth to find their way home. You aren't just living on the planet, you are tuned into its frequency. Do you think you have a better than average sense of direction? You might just be more in sync with the Earth's core than the rest of us. Tell me your best lost and found story in the comments. Number 4, the nightly brainwash. Every single night, while you're dreaming, your brain literally shrinks to 60% of its normal size, so it can be blast cleaned by a secret internal power washer. It's called the glymphatic system, and without it, your brain would quite literally drown in its own toxic waste. Your brain is a high-performance machine. It makes up only 2% of your body weight, but uses a massive 20 to 25% of your energy. All that work creates metabolic trash, specifically proteins like amyloid beta and tau. If these proteins stay in your brain, they form toxic clumps linked to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But here's the catch, the rest of your body has a lymphatic system to drain waste, but the brain was long thought to have no such sewer system. Discovered just over a decade ago by Dr. Maiken Nedergaard, the glymphatic system is a series of tunnels around your brain's blood vessels. When you fall into deep sleep or third stage, your brain cells contract. This creates 60% more space between neurons, allowing cerebrospinal fluid or CSF to rush in and flush out the trash. It's so efficient that waste clearance increases by nearly 90% compared to when you're awake. Why doesn't this happen all day? Because cleaning is exhausting. Research suggests the brain has limited energy. It can either entertain the guests like processing information or clean the house, but can't do both at once. When you pull an all-nighter, that waste just keeps piling up. This is why you feel brain fog after bad sleep. You're literally trying to think through a layer of metabolic sludge. Sleep isn't just rest, it's critical maintenance. To help your brain wash itself better, try sleeping on your side, which research suggests may actually boost this flow. So, are you giving your nightly cleaning crew enough time to work? Tag a friend who needs more sleep in the comments. And number 5, the scientific brain. Your brain is a mad scientist trapped in a dark, silent bone box, and it is currently running $1 billion simulation of the room you're standing in. You don't actually see with your eyes, you see with hypotheses that your brain is desperately trying to prove right. In neuroscience, this is called model-based learning. Most people think our senses work like a window. You look out, and the world comes in. But it's actually the opposite. Your brain uses your past experiences to build a mental model of how the world should work. It predicts the weight of your coffee mug before you lift it, and the sound of a door before it clicks shut. Your brain is essentially a Bayesian inference machine, constantly calculating the probability of what's happening next. This is where the science happens. Your senses, eyes, ears, skin, don't send a full HD video feed to your conscious mind. They only send prediction errors. If you walk down the stairs and expect one more step that isn't there, that jolt of adrenaline is your brain's model crashing. Your senses screamed, data doesn't match the theory. Your brain then immediately updates its internal map so you don't trip again. You are literally updating your software in real time. This is why two people can look at the same political event or a blue or gold dress and see two different realities. You aren't seeing the world as it is, you are seeing your brain's best guess based on its unique history. This model building is so powerful that it can even dull physical pain or create placebo effects simply because the scientific brain expected to feel better. You aren't a passive observer of life. You are the lead researcher in a lifelong experiment. What's a glitch you've experienced where your brain's model was totally wrong? Let's talk about those mental crashes in the comments. hit that subscribe/follow button. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next harvest. And this is GleanMind.